Everyone is talking about Coup, the Desi alternative to Twitter. Everyone is curious about how this Indian social networking platform will perform. Will it match up to the big leagues? And where does it go from here? And many, many more questions. Today, I'm joined by Mayank, who is the co-founder of Coup app. Welcome to HT Tech.
Thank you.
So my first question is, how does it feel to be at the center of attraction and so much of attention?
Well, it's a bag of mixed feelings. I think uh, we're we're overwhelmed with the kind of response we've got. There's a lot of user love. There's a lot of love from Indians in general. A lot of people think that this is being done. We're literally trying to show a great face of India, where we're building Atmanirbhar products out of India, and not be completely dependent on global internet products, right? We always wanted to cater to Indian specific problem statements. And one of the largest problems that India faces is that even though we have a very large internet population, just a small percentage of that knows, understands, and prefers English. A good part of them speak some sort of native Indian language. So we wanted to create a platform, an open expression platform, where every Indian finds it very easy to express themselves. So that was the beginning of Coup. Obviously, with the things that have happened as far as Twitter and the government are concerned, there's been additional interest in Coup because it's the alternative, the Desi alternative, homegrown from India for Indians. So it's an Indianized version of microblogging, and we have a lot of immersive experiences here, which is why users are really liking what they see on Coup. So I think the overall response has been overwhelming. The team we have is a very small team. They are overwhelmed with the amount of attention and the work and all of that, but we're just putting our heads down and working and not looking at all the attention that's being thrown at us.
Okay, ever since all this blew up, how has been the user traction? How many new users you have acquired, and how are you managing all this spike on your platform right now?
Well, it's been in the millions. We have a robust technology framework. We're ready to scale to a much higher number, to a much higher user base from here. Um, we've got substantial spikes in the number of users, the number of creators, celebrities, Bollywood personalities, politicians, you name it, important people, prominent personalities of India joining. The growth rate has been a good 10-20x on the apps. It's been almost 50-60x on the web, and that it just continues to keep growing. We made it to the top 10 apps of India on Android. We made it to the top 3 apps on iOS. So yeah, we nothing to complain about. Yeah.
Okay. Recently, we saw that there were some issues related to users' privacy and security vulnerabilities. So, how has Coup addressed those problems, and what are the optimizations or changes under the hood you have made?
So here's the thing. I think when something like this comes up, it threatens a lot of people. And when that happens, you have people from all around the world trying to hack into your system and talking about all kinds of things, whether they're right or wrong, rational, irrational, substantiated, unsubstantiated. The people talking, someone puts out some kind of tweet or a news article, and then that starts spreading, right? If you go and look at the details of what's happening, well, a lot of these are just profile details, right? This is information that the user has given to be shown to other people that are following them, right? So our security is pretty robust. Security is an ongoing project, right? Just like product development, you don't just make the product and ship it out and that's the end of it. You keep making enhancements because there are enhancements that are happening on the other side, where there are people trying to break into your system. So it's an ongoing, evolving topic. But if you see what we have on our platform today is a very very secure environment. It's very difficult to impossible to break into our systems today, right? It's not possible to get user data that the user did not want to make public. So a lot of these claims are, pretty much in the air.
Okay, when we talk about in Indian application, so how Indian is co applications, and let's say what are the specifics that are especially for the Indian audiences that the other international websites were not offering, and how's it, just let's very make it very simple. How's it different from Twitter?
Yeah, so I think that there are almost 50 languages and dialects that have more than 1 million users in India. So our intent is to cater to each of these languages meaningfully. The only way to be able to do that is to ask users upfront the language of their preference. So that's the first thing that we do.
Mhm.
When you log to Ku, you're shown a list of languages. You can select the language, your native tongue, and then every instruction on the app, whether it's video or an audio, is in that particular language. When you proceed into the app, you are then shown a list of people that you can follow. Who is basically a people network where one person gets to connect with other people, whether they are celebrities, well, common people, but they get to connect with people who are creating content. So you're shown a list of these people up front, right? And these lists are bifurcated by professions, topics of interest, topics that people talk about, and things like that. So it makes it very easy for people to connect to other people of their interest. This is again something that Twitter doesn't have. Since you're asking me how is Ku different from Twitter, the first thing is the language thing. The second thing is the fact that we have a very prominent people feed and we have multiple categories in which we bifurcated these people, making it easy to form these connections. The third thing is that when you try to create content, our keyboards are Indianized. So if you chose Hindi as your language of consumption and creation, and you try to create a coup, when you start typing, you could either type directly in Hindi, or even if you're typing in English, let's say if you were to write kaise ho and you wrote KAISE space HO, it will come out in the Hindi text. That makes it very very user friendly for people to create content in their mother tongue. Like that, we have multiple features which are very very different and much more nuanced and enhanced than what Twitter has, but these are the top three things that clearly stand out, and they
Okay,
make all the difference.
all right. There was also a little bit of chatter around your investments in the company, and I'm talking about especially about one of the Chinese investors that was part of your company in the past. So can you just clear the air for all of us?
I think the air has been cleared multiple times and it's been cleared on multiple news channels. I'm happy to do it again. Shunwai is an investor that invested in our previous product almost 2.5 years back, way before the government had banned any kind of Chinese apps or funds.
Mhm.
That investment made Shunwai a single digit shareholder in our company. They understand and appreciate the stance of the government in the larger interest of the country and are moving out of their investment in our holding company. Coup, on the other hand, is a new product which was made less than 1 year back, and it has raised recent funds from 314 and our existing investors, in which Shunwai has not participated. So Ku does not have any kind of Chinese funding. the Chinese funding that had come into our company had come way before the government decided about the ban. And now that this has happened, they do appreciate the fact that an exit needs to happen, and they're doing that.
Okay, since we were talking about social media, so it will be very difficult not to ask about content moderation. And of late, we have seen there is a lot of discussion around how to keep social media away, clean from all this harmful content. So, what are you doing to ensure that coup is not used for fake news, harmful content, or hate speech? What are the efforts you are making?
Yeah, so what usually happens is that the larger part of the population is just expressing themselves freely, and most of it is what you might call harmless content, right? You have some unscrupulous elements, which will be a very small percentage, which will try to create content that causes havoc. Now, it is not humanly possible to moderate every piece of content manually, and hence you depend on algorithms, on machine learning models, semantic understanding in English and in various Indian languages to identify content like this, right? Since we're not a publisher, the liability of any such content lies on the creator, but we do have certain responsibilities as a platform to be working within a legal jurisdiction, right? Because of that, we have created various features. Some of these are community based features. What does that mean? You have the ability to report a content and select why you're reporting it. So instead of having 20 employees trying to moderate millions of pieces of content, you democratize the ability for anybody to moderate content and start reporting anything that they feel is questionable, right? So that becomes a community initiative and is a lot more scalable than just employees trying to do this. So that's a feature we have, and then the team will look at each of these exceptions that are being highlighted. Then you have algorithms that throw out anything that looks questionable so that the team can go through it and understand if there's something that needs to be done about some of these pieces of content. I think it's very important to walk the balance between freedom of speech and larger important issues like national security, social harmony. I think it's important to have a balance between these two, and you also have a responsibility. There's a particular reason why any kind of mass media in the country abides by certain laws. That's because you're trying to avoid mass havoc, right? Even if you want to put out an ad, you have to get a certification that this ad is okay to be published, right? Social media does not have any such clear policies that have been outlined for it, or clear laws, which is why there is some sort of vagueness attached with what people are saying, right? And I'm sure our government, as we speak, is working on certain policies that will be, it will withhold the right that is outlined in Article 19 of the Constitution, which deals with freedom of speech. But there are certain legalities that supersede that freedom that we enjoy in our democratic country.
Okay. So this will be my last question also to you also, that so what is next for Coup? What are the features we are going to see, or any kind of a new development that is going to take place on the platform? What are the enhancements that are going to come in the immediate future?
So we've got thousands of emails from users that are requesting for new things that they'd like to see and things like that. We're working on fixing some issues that exist. We're working on exciting new features. It will be related to languages. multiple language feeds and things like that. Some things that might be a little more confidential in nature, and we'd love to surprise our users and sort of talk about it in advance. But exciting days ahead. What's in store for us is just to scale, just to get a lot more people onto Poo. Realize it is really an open platform. They can speak their mind. There are millions of users that are connecting with each other every day, making meaningful relationships and connects. Is just a very beautiful platform and doesn't have a lot of the toxicity that you would see on other platforms.
Okay. Thank you. That's all from me. And thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.